Well, Colin, thanks for joining us and agreeing to look back on 40 years ago and the disappointment of not going to the Moscow Olympics. And I got to ask you this, Colin, I mean, did you watch much of the 1980 Olympics, or was it just too painful?
Well, I can't remember watching any of the hockey, and I think given the television coverage during those times, seeing Australia weren't in the tournament, I doubt that it was on TV. But I do remember some of the events, athletics in particular, which I was, I liked to watch. There were many good events there, and of course it's the Olympic Games, so everyone's interested in that. So that's my memory. I watched the Olympics, but not the hockey.
Is there still that nagging feeling? You mentioned there Australia was in a good position. Everybody was saying that they were probably the team to beat going into that because of what had happened in '76. They've had that tag a long time.
That's why I was laughing, yeah.
But I mean, it seemed, I know Rick Charlesworth has always said he felt that team was primed, ready to claim the first men's gold.
Yeah, look, I think there's some legitimate cases for that. I think the '76 team, great achievement. They probably should have won. I know the players that went there were disappointed in the end result. But if you look at it from another point of view, we beat India twice in an Olympic tournament. That hadn't happened before. So there was an expectation. The age and the experience from '76 would have carried through to '80, and I think then if you skip forward to '84, we had an outstanding team, but maybe some of the guys that were selected and didn't go in '80, they might have finished then in '80. They mightn't have gone on for '84, but they went on for '84, and perhaps, in hindsight, the team needed some fresh blood for '84.
Obviously, the Tokyo Olympics have been postponed. I'm thinking, are you jinxed? Because obviously making your debut as a player in '80, it didn't happen. And then making your debut as a coach of Australia at an Olympic Games in 2020, it was meant to happen, it's been postponed. Have you looked in the mirror and gone, what did I do?
What are you saying? This is my last Olympics?
What
have you heard, Ashley? No, look, it's just one of those things, of course, where everyone was disappointed not to go to Tokyo. It would have been over by now, but look, there are very good reasons, great concerns around the world about how to handle the virus. We're still training for the Olympics, so it's still on the agenda, and the information that is coming back from the AOC at the moment is that the Japan are very determined that it'll go ahead. So we're training as often as we can and as diligently as what we can with the expectation that it'll go ahead.
And then looking back now, because of that disappointment in 1980, do you value every Olympic opportunity that comes your way probably that little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. And it's wonderful to be involved with the Australian Olympic team. It certainly has special memories, there's no doubt about that. When you go through it as a player, particularly this would have been the first time for me in 1980, that's what we always wanted to do. That was the Olympics. We always wanted to play at the Olympics. Moscow was a place not too many people would have travelled, so that was also interesting. So as an athlete, you're considering yourself and the team, but as a coach, you're considering the whole program, and you've got 18 players out there that you're thinking about, but you've got the staff, and have you got the program right? So there's a lot more responsibility on, the bigger picture. I think that's the real difference. But yeah, it's a great thrill and a privilege to actually be the head coach of any Olympic team. I was fortunate enough still to go to 2 other Olympics as an athlete, and I've been to 4 others as an assistant coach and a head coach. So I feel very privileged to go through those and have the opportunity to do that. And I look forward to Tokyo next year.
Well, Colin, thanks very much for sharing your memories of 1980 and the Olympics that never was for you. We wish you all the very best for Tokyo, and certainly hope that it happens in 2021.